Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod. I'm here to talk about everything that happened between the premiere and the first eviction of Big Brother UK 2023. So I'm usually more in-depth with my recaps, but I feel like this is the kind of show that you just have to watch it. So this is going to be just more me talking about the highlights and my notes from the show. Firstly, I'm so excited to see the show back. Big Brother UK is one of my favorite shows. The new house looks amazing. I love that it's 2 levels. You can tell that the budget has been upped, and I'm really hoping that the ratings on this season are a success. I miss Emma Willis as the host. I wish she was the host still. But we have 2 new presenters, AJ and Will. I like AJ, and I feel like she could be doing this by herself. I don't need Will to be there, and it just adds extra pressure for them to have to get through the scripted banter. There's just so much that can go wrong. We get the move-ins, and Jenkin is the first in and sets the tone of being an obnoxious person who we know we're supposed to find entertaining, but is just someone who you'd be so annoyed with in real life. The diversity of this cast reminds me of the golden age of Big Brother UK, with such a diverse lineup of characters, and not just a lineup of TikTokers and fame seekers. I liked the pace of this move-in too. They were rushing the house guests into the house and really pumping this premiere full of content. I didn't love the little games they were playing throughout the move-in. I could just have done without it. They play a game where they have to dance and freeze, and like, why? Also, the judging of this was so questionable and subjective, but it was funny to see Yinran come in mortified when they're all frozen. Then Yinran wins this game seemingly because Big Brother wants her to, and she wins breakfast in bed and has to choose someone to cook for her, and she chooses Jenkin. Then they all have to hide, and the first person that Maddie finds will be punished, and Maddie quickly finds Jenkin. Jenkin has to face another consequence, not being able to use hot water, and you already know Jenkin is not really a humorous character. It could be so funny that one person keeps losing and getting all the punishments, but it's just not funny. And I'm not sure if it's not funny because Jenkin is just really sad about it, or because Big Brother just didn't design this to be funny, but it just ends up having a really dark vibe. Once they're all moved in, they have to basically play hot potato with a gift, and whoever gets the gift has to open it. The music is being controlled by Big Brother, so clearly they're just deciding who gets the gift, but okay. Paul picks Dylan as someone he doesn't want to share a bed with, and Dylan loses his bed for the night. Carrie has to pick who has questionable dress sense, and so she picks Jenkin, which seems really mean-spirited. Hasn't he been through enough? So now Jenkin has his suitcase blown up to smithereens, and the sound is actually really terrifying. It sounds like a bomb. Then, in case he hasn't been through enough, Big Brother gives Jenkin the final package, and he has to pick who would be the hardest to live with, and he picks Olivia. So Olivia ends up nominated on the first day. Big Brother later tells Olivia that she has a task to save herself, and all she has to do is not be voted the least entertaining house guest in a day's time when they have to do a task to rank each other. This is a really easy task. I think even if she didn't try, she wouldn't be voted least entertaining. If they wanted it to be challenging, they could have tasked her to be voted the most entertaining, or even to make it into the top 3 or the top 5. So it was obvious she was going to achieve this. It might have been more entertaining if somebody who was boring would have won it. The next day, we get to see Farida praying, and it's a good moment, and we get a great confessional from Yinran talking about the language barrier with her and the other house guests, but deciding to face the challenge, and we already love Yinran. There's a fun house meeting where they talk about dietary needs, and Farida stands up on a chair in her happy face pajamas, and I just find Farida bothering the other house guests as so funny and entertaining. This is also the first of many times that Carrie is just always trying to undermine Farida and is always nipping at her heels. She never lets Farida finish a thought without assuming the worst in her. Hallie brings up during this meeting that she's trans and is met with unanimous support, which was nice. Olivia goes on an entertainment offensive, doing cartwheels, singing songs, headstands, no-handed cartwheels, splits. She's actually pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. Farida eats out of Olivia's plate, and Olivia is pissed about it, but it never really becomes a fight that I wish it would have become. They finally get to the task where they have to rank each other based on a variety of different categories, but this isn't executed by production in a way that would create a lot of drama, as the people ranking on multiple occasions don't really take it seriously, or just leave people standing where they were the previous round. House punching bag Jenkin ends up being voted least funny and least trustworthy, and do they just hate him? Tom has to rank who's least and most kind, and he really doesn't take it seriously. He ends up making an enemy of Chanel in the process, who is really the only person who gets offended during this whole challenge. Olivia obviously passes her mission and isn't voted least entertaining. She will be immune from eviction. Olivia nonchalantly tells a story while she's cooking about her pet bird dying and being taken out with the recycling that actually made me laugh out loud. Jenkin breaks down in his punishment jumpsuit, and I'm in 2 minds about this because I feel like he's having a tough few days and everyone's treating him like shit, but he's also not being a good sport about it, so it's just bad TV. I do think there's some opportunity for a Jenkin comeback, though I think that he'll just be evicted soon. Trish and Henry bond as friends, and Henry admits to playing up controversial conservative opinions in his intro videos that he's not even seemingly going to stand by, and if you're going to try to play the audience like that, you're just setting yourself up on a bad foot. Jordan ends off the second episode with a funny, dry confessional. I think this is someone the public will love and potentially can win the show. On day 3, there's, I guess, an endurance competition where they all have to stay in bed for as long as possible for an unknown prize, which, like, who cares about this? Certainly not some of the house guests like Henry, who instantly decides he's over it and gets out of bed. There's a conversation in the bed where Farida is asking Hallie questions about dating as a trans woman, and she does seem genuinely curious and trying to learn, but the house guests seem inclined to question her intentions. At some point, Big Brother tells them that if someone quits, they can win Jenkin his suitcase back, and Carrie volunteers, so he gets his Crocs back, which makes him happy. Good for him. Farida tells Maddie that she said that she wanted noodles, and then other people went to get noodles from the kitchen so that she couldn't have them, and then Tom and Henry are bragging, holding their noodles in bed that they got them. This, for me, was bullying. Like, I feel like everyone in the house is ganging up on Farida, and the show doesn't really make this a storyline. Zach, Maddie, Dylan, and Paul won the bed challenge, and they win cocktails in the backyard, but who cares about this? I'd rather be inside than outside with these 4. The noodle thieves eat their noodles, and Jordan puts mayonnaise in them, which is gross. It looks gross. It is gross. The cocktail party guys bond. Paul talks about getting into boxing. Maddie says he doesn't have a lot of male friends, so this conversation means a lot to him. Zach talks about growing up in Thailand and working hard as a kid and appreciating what he has now. And Dylan opens the floor for them all to ask him about his leg, as he has a prosthetic leg. Side note, Jordan and Chanel seem to be flirting, or at least she's flirting with him for the second time in a few days. Hallie brings up to Farida that one of the questions that she asked her in bed could have been seen as offensive, but Hallie knows that Farida didn't have bad intentions, and they seem to clear it up nicely. Farida ends the 3rd episode showering Hallie and Olivia with compliments in the diary room. On day 4, they get a shopping task where they'll be turned into an office, Big Bros Limited. They'll be sorted into the bigwigs, middle management, and the lowly workers, the bottoms, with BB being the CEO. I'm not going to talk about all of this because it was all kind of boring, but the bigwigs, Henry, Trish, and Yinrin have to wear big wigs, which is the best part of all this, and Jordan being the fire warden is secondary entertainment. The worst part of it is Zach and Paul having a really boring task sorting mail, and Carrie taking it way too seriously and just being exactly the kind of coworker that makes you want to quit your job on a daily basis. Carrie at some point decides that she has it out for Farida and comes for Farida at every possible moment. It doesn't help that they're both assigned to be middle management. Farida doesn't want to be middle management anymore. She wants to help the hardworking bottoms and is happily demoted to being a bottom, and she has a confessional calling Carrie conniving. There's even a scene where Farida is talking about her business and Carrie's sitting right next to her and leans back and starts singing Let It Go because she's annoyed with Farida. Be a bit more mature than that. In the next episode, there's a random eviction episode when we haven't even seen the nominations play out yet. We know who's nominated from bonus content, but the nominations end up playing out in the episode. I don't like this. The nominations should at least be 1 episode before the eviction. Carrie and Farida end up nominated, and I thought that Carrie would handily be evicted because she's been such a bully to Farida all week and hasn't really been entertaining outside of when she's putting on her personality in the diary room. Between the nominations and the eviction, we get a fun argument between Carrie and Farida where Farida basically insinuates that Carrie is old and is only friends with Hallie because she wants to fulfill a motherly role, and Carrie just gets so easily wound up about this and offended, but Farida doesn't give an F, and it's funny. Carrie's trying to fight with Farida and she's just like, where is my icy water? Farida ends up evicted, which is shocking to me, but she cheers when she's evicted, and I hate when people celebrate being evicted. It's so fake to me, trying to make it seem like that's what you wanted. You obviously wanted to be there and stay. But wrapping up here talking about Farida, I'm really shocked to see her go. Like I said, I felt like I was on her side in all of the arguments this week over Carrie. I felt like Carrie was being a big bully to her, and I'm really surprised that after 5 years of the show being on hiatus, that people would vote to evict one of the more entertaining characters. Like, don't you want the show to be good? Don't you want the show to stay on and not get canceled? So this eviction for me was a bit problematic and a bit concerning for the future of the show, but it's just the first week. I hope it can turn around. I'm actually really hopeful that there could be intruders coming into this season because this cast seems incomplete, but I feel like this first eviction was a little bit rushed. We barely know these people and we're already sending people home, but I'll give it a while longer before I draw definite conclusions about where this is going. I'm going to post these videos after every eviction on Big Brother UK, so expect that I'll just post a video soon after every eviction. I know the schedule for those can sometimes be inconsistent. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss it. I'm not sure when they'll be. Until next time, bye!